How you doing, people? My name is Robert, aka Rob S. I'm part of Anti-Corruption Scotland. Anti-Corruption Save Our Children and Expose Scotland. And today, we're here for two functions. One is to educate you on the law, and the second is to expose the child abuse in Glasgow, Scotland, with your government and all the paedophiles that's allowing it to happen. And it's time for it needs to stop. Enough is enough. Now, people right now don't know what's really going on, and they don't know their rights. But the people have rights. They don't have duties, obligations, and responsibilities to a legal system, a legal society. Our rights is excluded from all others in a legal society. Now, there's a thing called corporate parent. That's where Nicholas Sturgeon, the social services, the men and women that represent the social work department and councils, children's panels, and the judiciary are claiming the superior claim over your sons and daughters and stealing them unlawfully, not illegally, unlawfully. And it's diabolical because people don't know how to deal with us, they don't know how to fight back, and people have to fight back. We have to take our rights back, we have to take our communities back, and we have to take our country back and protect the sons and daughters of Scotland from child abuse, rape, murder, and kidnap. There's over 20,000 sons and daughters in Scotland has already went missing, and there is no explanation. And this is all verified by a freedom information request from Police Scotland, telling us that, so it can't be denied or rebutted. Now, son and daughter, common law. I'm good at common law, what I do, that's my speciality. Your son and daughter is your property. No man or woman has a right to take your property. The woman and the man that created that son or daughter has a superior claim and the rights to that son and daughter. And what's happening is they created a birth certificate. The birth certificates are fraud. The driving license is a fraud. Every legal document, the legal systems are fraud because that's the way their system works. There is two jurisdictions, two systems, legal and lawful. We the men and women stand in lawful, we don't stand in legal. We are not legal persons, fictions or entities. What is an entity? An entity has an independent existence, and that's where the person status comes in. Now, you go to the registrars, your mother and father, when you were created, filled in paperwork after they'd done the paperwork in the hospital. And what actually happened was an unlawful contract was converted. And what they did is they stole the mother and father's rights to the son or daughter. And they signed the rights over unwillingly and unknowingly accepting that because there was no full disclosure. The birth certificate that they created is fraudulent. And because it's based on fraud, it is null and void ab initio from the start. And this is what people have to do. You have to do the research. Listening, what I'm telling you here now, because I'm verifying in private capacity under full personal liability, is a fact. No presumption or assumption like the legal system and the court system, the social services, the children's panels make presumptions. We only deal in fact, and facts and law. Now, we're going to cover a topic about the exploitation of children shortly. And this is Mandy from Scotland. This woman here has been targeted on numerous occasions, the same as myself and other members of our movement, unlawfully kidnapped, assaulted, handcuffed, took to a corporate place of business, and I hope they're listening, because they're the highest criminals in Scotland. They're under an oath, and their oath is to protect and serve, not enforce policies and statutes and acts. They're committing perjury on a daily basis, and they're causing torture harm to the people of Scotland. And the biggest majority of them recently have been caught in court papers, downloading child images. So if you can't even trust the people of Scotland in uniform to protect your sons and daughters, known as Police Scotland, who can you protect?
400 police officers, jockey!
The justice system, your barristers, your lawyers, your judges, social workers, children's panels are all part of this abuse. They've got a child inquiry in Dunblane right now. I don't know the full extent of what's going on, but Miss Sturgeon is sticking her nose in and trying to take control and try to manipulate all these hearings for the benefit to hide the paedophile rings. We've got massive graves all over the land of Scotland with sons and daughters in them buried, and not just single graves, big holes full of bodies, and they're hiding it. They're building on top of it, selling the land so it can't be exposed because the corruption is rife in Scotland. It's time for us, the people, to come together. It's time for us, the people, to stand up in county, take your rights back, take your communities back, and protect your sons and daughters and families. This is deadly serious, people. This is not a game anymore. People think their life is sweet, just very sweet and rosy. With people like that in uniforms, that's not going to harm, because they'll get bought up to take people, assist the social services to steal your sons and daughters and help abuse them. And that's a fact. And as soon as you're waking up and realise that fact, then we can do something about it. I'm sick of what's going on. I'm sick in 2014 to now. The legal system, including Police Scotland, destroyed my family, stole my sister's son and boy, based on lies and fraud. And that's what these people are, even them in uniform, paid liars. And I verify that from first-hand knowledge, and I verify it with fact and a point in law. What they're preaching is their law. It's a fraud against the people. This man here, his family's lost a family member. Police Scotland will not give answers. They're too busy trying to cover it up. They keep passing the buck to point A, point B, point C, and they keep going round in a circle. So they don't get answers for this family. This family deserve answers for Police Scotland. Ian Livingston, he's a criminal. This is one thing I want to make clear. Time and time again, I've called Sturgeon to get to this square face of man. I'm now calling Ian Livingston, Calloway, and the Lord Advocate of doing face of man, because we want to challenge your jurisdiction and tell you you have no rights over the people. It's diabolical. You people need to wake it up. There's another lockdown coming. John Sweeney says he's going to enforce more restrictions. That's a laugh when you've got hundreds of thousands of people coming to climate change. No mask. Why are they targeting us? Why did they let them into the country with their fancy jets and their fancy planes, jumping about in their fancy cars, costing the taxpayer a fortune? They can't even feed the homeless in their country. They can't even help feed the families that's struggling to feed their sons and daughters of Scotland. But they can afford to pay for all these criminals, sex traffickers from all over the world to come here and abuse Scotland, as well as our sons and daughters. Well, no more. Anti-Corruption Scotland, Expose Scotland, and Anti-Corruption Save Our Children has had enough. Enough is enough.
Enough is enough!
Them wearing masks in the uniform, that's a cover-up. There's no virus, it's never been contained. It's a lie, you're being lied to. They're only playing the fear factor so they can enforce policies and rules, regulations that has no law. Then when they know what the law was, they can jump up and smack them in the teeth. You can see I'm hostile, people, and I've got every reason, because I don't know what's the matter with people's mentality or thinking. They're listening to liars, they're listening to the media, they're listening to politicians with their politics and their lies. Listen to the people who's telling you the truth. Don't listen to these scumbags. Liars paid at your expense, and they know it. Anyway, people, I'm going to put you on the Expose Scotland and Mandy. We the people have to protect this woman, because they victimise her, bully her, and intimidate her, and it can't go on anymore. And that's what they do with all truffers. The truffers are telling the truth. The truffers are giving you the facts. Don't take your word for it. Get off your asses and start doing your research and educate yourself the way we did. I've done this for 11 years, and I will not stop. Because the last wish my father made to me was stand up in county, and I'm here today to stand up in county. I don't care about the legal system. I don't care about Sturgeon, Sweeney, Boris Johnson, Ian Livingston, because he's a clown, or anybody else. They don't intimidate me. They've done what they've done, and they're going to do no more. Time's changing. They're not going to get sacked shortly with the people. We're going to remove consent because Anti-Corruption Scotland is new putting it out here that we are starting a people's party. We're going to give you your control. We're going to take your communities back and we're going to put them in their place. Twist the hand.
Look guys, I came here today to make a statement. You've seen me here for 2 years. But I'm going to tell you something I've never said before. None of you are aware of my story. Right, I don't put it out there because it's not about me. I fight against child exploitation, child trafficking, grooming gangs and paedophile rings within our system. But I'm going to tell you today why. I've been targeted for 40 years by a paedophile ring. This paedophile ring is Freemasons. This paedophile ring were police, were Freemasons, were police, were social workers, were housing managers, were members of social services, were members of the CPN. They bullied me, they intimidated me, and they threatened me for 17 years. They sent me mail threatening to rape, murder my children if I didn't shut my mouth. I still won't shut my mouth, that's why they come for me. 17 years later, these people have never been found. You just wonder why when I put myself out in these streets I'm a target. Well, I'm talking about military paedophile rings. I'm talking about Crown paedophile rings, Freemason paedophile rings, police paedophile rings. They're all the same paedophile rings because they're all pals with each other. The judges, the politicians, the secret speculative society in Edinburgh. They're all part of the same paedophile ring that controls the people with a satanic system that was built to control, enslave you, terrorise you, traumatise you. If you disagree, take your children. That's why I'm on these streets for the last 2 years fighting. Because see these very same paedophiles that have come after me and my family my whole life, and I have fought back. They never got my children. They sent them, it was ski masks. They hid me in 10 homeless houses to a bought house, all because I challenged the paedophiles. So that's why when I came to George Square, I put myself as a target. You see, 40 years ago, the places these paedophiles were in, well, that was 40 years ago. So I'm reckoning they're now chief inspectors, they're now QCs, they're now judges, they're now advocates. And do you know what? I got my grandchildren, and my children are now 20 and 21, and I will fight to the death to bring Scotland's paedophile ring, Scotland's system, Scotland's justice system to its knees. I will expose every last one of you. I will expose every police officer, every chief inspector, every Freemason, every member of your military, because they're in there as well, these trafficked children, all over the world, and you shout about climate change. Well, see if you stop trafficking humans and children all over the world, every country in the world, then we wouldn't have climate change. See if he's one of your greedy paedophiles and monsters at the top, then we wouldn't be in the mess we're in today. See all our ancestors that fought in wars, they fought in wars for us to have freedom. Every single one of you, what freedom have you got? What freedom have you got if the government says so? None. None, because they're going to control you and tell you what to do. This is sinister. As I said, as well as global, like we have COVID, I don't know if anyone's aware, but we also have a global sex education programme that was put into your schools when we all went into lockdown last March. Well, this global sex education programme, I have information on it here. All the documents you need to research. It's called RSHP in Scotland. Now, in 2009, your world leaders all sat round a table, paedophile rings at the top, and they, along with the World Health Organisation and UNICEF, they created a global sex education programme because the paedophiles at the top, like Prince Andrew, were being outed and being caught, and they wanted the sexualisation of all your children to cover their tracks. Well, that was in 2009. It was agreed globally, round the world, that you had to accept this global sex education programme. Foreign aid was refused to some countries who didn't want it, so they had to accept it, but foreign aid was getting pulled. This is what happened in 2009. and all the countries agreed that by 2021 they would have this global sex education programme in your schools. Now, what year is it? It's 2021. You've been in your lockdown last year. Your governments were not discussing COVID. They were discussing a global sex education programme and the sexualisation of your children. So I'm going to show you some proof today. So we have a newspaper article. Robert. So this is Scotland, right? This was published on the 12th of August 2021. Scotland will let pupils change their gender age 4 without their parents' consent and tells teachers not to question a child's request to choose a new name and choose a different toilet. Children as young as 4 will be able to change their gender at school without their parents' consent under guidance introduced in Scotland. Any pupil who decides they want to switch gender must be supported and listened to in school following the Scottish Government's advice. So you have that. So your child at 4 is allowed to change their gender. Through the Global Sex Education Programme, they will also, through the Global Sex Education Programme, your child will get sexual rights next year. There's a booklet about it. So through it in here it all is. So through this new sex education programme, once it's implemented into your schools, Wales are in court with their government just now. Wales no longer have parental rights. Scotland is a year behind, but when your child has sexual rights, you will no longer have parental rights. They will be given as of next year to your child to 5 years old. With these sexual rights, your child has the right to choose their gender from 5 years old and change their gender. Your school, by the age of 7, will be able to start providing your child with hormone blockers and gender transformation medication without parental consent, without parental opt-out. It won't be your choice anymore. Also, your children will be able to get treated for sexually transmitted diseases through the school because of sexual rights from 7 years old without your parental consent or knowledge. And to this sex education programme, I'm going to read a wee bit of the booklet, guys. This is the book I have. So in 2020, the Scottish Government legislated to take away parental rights. They did this by coronavirus legislations last year. The coronavirus legislations they brought in last year, you already lost some of your parental rights. And they're going to bring in more legislation over the primary and comprehensive sex education. Refusal of the parents to partake in these lessons will result in the parent breaching their their child's sexual rights. So they'll be able to safeguard your children and send social services to remove your child if you try and opt out this next year. We have time. I've got parents going into the school and they're accepting it just now. So Scotland must not have the legislation in place yet. We must need so many people to agree to it, like they did with coronavirus, for it to actually get into law. But they're trying it. Sexual rights allowance already in Scotland. It started on 1st of September 2021. And it's up to the head teachers. They've got 6 months to start putting it in, and it's up to them when and how to do it. This sex education also involves your school giving your children links to Pornhub. For anybody that doesn't know, so from 11 years old, the schools will be able to give your children links to Pornhub, and any questions they have, then...
So why can they then not be challenged if they don't permit their names watch porn?
Exactly. So it's alright for the teachers to let your children watch porn in school. They're 11 years old. They'll also be getting sent home with it as homework and a link to Pornhub to use for your house. So get prepared that if you don't start doing this, your children are... So see the way I see it, like, what is wrong with you? You're all scared of a virus, scared of vaccines. Why are you so scared that the paedophiles are coming into your schools, removing your parental rights, sexualising your children, and they're about to take them whether you like it or not, if you disagree? Now, like I said, there's Covert Human Intelligence Sources Act 2021. They just got amended for Scotland. This This gives them the right. This gives them the right to kidnap, rape, murder and torture you by law if you disagree with whatever it is they're about to say. So, as you know, I don't know if anybody's aware that in Australia you're now not allowed out if you've not been vaccinated. They put them into complete lockdown the other day. I've got a friend that works there. So Laura's friend's husband got arrested last night for walking his dog because he's unvaccinated. So I need to ask you all, see like if everybody's vaccinated, see the unvaccinated, who are we a threat to? Because we're only a threat to ourselves. If you're all safe and protected, then if we're not vaccinated, then who are we a threat to? Why are they forcing it on us? Why are we not allowed freedom of choice? Because we're the ones that are getting punished and not allowed in anywhere. But you are all protected to COVID. So why is it us that's not allowed in? Because the only person we could possibly kill is ourselves. So like, what's the problem? It doesn't make sense because I'm lying to you. This is about the global sexualisation of your children, and the paedophiles really are coming. And if you don't agree in any way, shape or form, in the next 3 months your doors will be getting kicked in and your children will be getting removed. So guys, I just wanted to say that today, and I know I've ranted as usual, also want to say, look guys, see all the arguing and the fighting and anything we've ever done. Like, we have been here for 2 years, the ones that are here today. We've stood side by side for 2 years. We're all going to need each other more than we believe. We're going to need to start looking after each other after this winter because it's going to be really, really bad. We all need to be on the same page and we all need to delegate what we need to do to each other, and we need to start showing them who's boss. We need to start showing them there's the people that's going to power in this country, not our governments. So, I just want to say that, guys, and I love you all, and I'm not for anybody, and I will protect anybody that stands by your side. If somebody is the real in the crowd, then I'll just always be me, and I'll keep you safe, and I'll say it how it is. And I love you all, and thanks very much for coming, guys. But we are serious. We really want to take this forward now, and there's no going back. Like, we're in this to bring this system down, like the home system, the court system, the justice system, and we're not going to stop till we have. And then it's going to be all our duties to rebuild it, and we all need each other.
If we don't fight for the wage, then they will.
Yeah, all our children in this country have got is us. And if we don't fight for them, then we've let our ancestors down, we've let everybody down, and we've let them come rape murder our children. So whether you want to believe it or not, we're in the middle of World War III, and I'll just say it. Whether anybody believes it or not, see if you look in the past, you'll be able to. This is a bigger war than it has been before, and it's about our children, and we're going to fight to protect our children here in Scotland, and the rest of the world's going to need to do the same. So thanks guys for listening, and I'll give you back on to Robert, and if anybody else is...
Well done, Mandy.
Well done.
Thanks.
The thing of the matter is, people now have to waken up, have to take Sturgeon and the rest of these brats in the Scottish Parliament down. We have to remove them out of the system and put the people in the system. We have to take back our communities and our country, because we're losing it right now to a foreign corporation. The United Kingdom's part of that. They're all registered and done in Bradstreet. The Scottish Parliament is registered and done in Bradstreet as a private corporation trading for profit. The Scottish Government is registered and done in Bradstreet trading for profit. Nicola Sturgeon, every politician in that Parliament is registered and done in Bradstreet. And if you don't believe myself, go on to Dun & Bradstreet website and put in Embra and type in their names and you'll see they're all registered companies. They're fleecing the people for money. They're robbing the people for the equity. That's why we have people right now who can't get medication because of the scamdemic. People right now are dying because of paid liars like Sturgeon and Humes are useless. John Sweeney and Patrick Harvey. They're lying to the people, and I can verify that. So, you people need to waken up. Stop registering to vote for paedophiles. Stop registering to vote for liars. And let's take back what's ours. The lands of Scotland belong to us. And so, follow on the record so the numpties along here hear it. This is a local gathering. This is not a protest. There is no organisers. And we the people are making this appeal at claim to Scotland today.
Rob, just keep going.
So, we have a distraction there. We're not going to bother with it because they're obviously dummies. Right? They don't know the real world. We the people here today are in the real world. And I would like to thank the people here today that came back to stand with us, because we found out who the leeches is, the liars, the manipulators, the troublemakers in this group. We want to build a group of people that stand by each other and know the truth. And we only have time for the people that's woke up. We don't want time wasters here. It's the fantasy world believing the shit they've been told by the Scottish government. Right? Get Sturgeon down here and all the politicians, and get Boris Johnson down here, well as it, and Ian Livingston, and I'll show you how much power these scumbags don't have. They don't have the power they're claiming, a presumption of power. And we're not going to take our sons and daughters anymore, because we've had enough.